Right, so hello everyone, and welcome back to episode 5 of Talk is Rich. You're going to see a decent looking man sitting across from me there with teeth as white as snow. I'm joined by Troy here, all the way from Dubai. Not jealous at all. No way in hell while I'm in rainy Wicklow here. So Troy, just straight into it, what I do in every episode is just an introduction, brief introduction, who you are, where you're from, and a bit about your background.
Of course, thank you very much for having me on. First of all, well, suppose it's a bit different than obviously we previously spoke on previous podcasts. But a bit has changed around. Obviously, name's Troy Sutton. Quite big on social media. I suppose that's like my main life now, isn't it? Social media. And own a fitness business. Freshly moved out to Dubai, originally from Wicklow, the same. And yeah, I'm living in sunny country now, so I'm a bit more happier.
Yeah, we'll get on to that now shortly. Have you missed Wicklow at all since you've left, or has it? That's probably a stupid question now, but do you miss the kind of the home feel of it?
No, no, that's stupid, of course. A week later, I won't lie, like week into it was hard settling into a new place because obviously I've lived with my parents my whole life, so I got everything done for me. I was a big mommy's boy. Got all my meals cooked for me and stuff like that. So in that case, I'm missing family, but not missing the environment, not missing the weather, not missing the people inside it, the mindsets. I'm liking here, and I'm happy to settle here for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up mindsets because we're going to talk about that later and social circles and stuff as well that we're going to get onto as well. But brilliant stuff. Now, without getting too much into it, we have to bring up one bit. I just want to know how the fitness thing's going for you in terms of your clients. That's the only question I'm going to ask you now. But are you able to keep up to date over in Dubai and all? How's it changing?
It's actually pretty good. So the change to Dubai and with my current business mentor and stuff like that, I've learned a couple of new things. So, for an example, I freshly learned that I don't actually have to be there in order to keep the business running. You just kind of scale it. So it's actually easy. I've got an Irish coach hired at the moment, and I'm in the process of hiring a United States coach as well to deal with the time zone issue. And what I'm dealing with is more so the people that are photo shoots, bodybuilding shows, all that type of thing. Obviously, I still overlook everything, but my main time consumption is teaching these trainers how to be as good as me, of course.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant. What have your clients felt since they've seen you moving to Dubai? Obviously, they're following you on your social media and stuff. Has many of them commented in, wondering why you've left and went over there?
I suppose, right? So there's two different people, and one of them I don't want to deal with, and one of them I do want to deal with. So you have two different types of people in this earth. There's ones that are extremely negative and always try to look for the bad things, and then you've other ones that are really happy for the person, and if that suits their business better, it suits their lifestyle better, they're happy for you regardless, what time zone you're in and stuff like that. So I've noticed some clients obviously being a bit, like, oh, how's this going to work with the time zones and stuff like that. And then the other people that I definitely do want to work with are just like, I'm so proud of you. I'm happy that, of course, you're doing well in business. And I suppose with the new clients coming in, that's not an issue at all because I suppose it's a bit of a reassurance thing. If someone's on a call with me and they're like, okay, well, I want to get in shape. Who's the guy for this? Well, Troy's living out in Dubai, living very comfortably, looked like he happy. So the business must be doing well. And the business wouldn't be doing well if he was a shit coach. So I suppose that's a bit of reassurance for the new clients.
Yeah.
But as for the current clients, everyone, the people that didn't like it have left, and the people that do like it have came in and refilled their spot.
Um. Right now, we need. Do we need to talk about your decision to go there? Right? Because I remember seeing you one day on social media, and I think you'd mentioned it to me before that you were going to go to Dubai, and do you know what? There wasn't one bit of doubt with me that you were going to do it. You're not one of these types that's going to say they're going to do something and then not. So I wasn't surprised to see you hop up in Dubai, right? But why Dubai? Why is that the location for you? Why do you feel that was the right time to go there?
Well, when we were previously speaking, obviously, as I said, I'm a man of my word, and I felt like that was the best thing for me. But I wasn't going to move without visiting. So I visited out here. We came out here for a week. We had some fun. We rented a couple of supercars, and we've met some very interesting people. And I think from the moment I touched down, I said, well, this, as you mentioned, social circle we're going to get into. Well, we won't dip into it too much, but where am I going to be more successful if I'm surrounded by a bunch of people that don't want to do nothing with their life? hometown or if I'm surrounded by people that are doing something with their life in Dubai. And especially not to go into fitness too much, but fitness scene is rising in Dubai, and there's a lot of professionals that are doing much better than me. So taking on a couple of tips from them is helping me get to the next level, of course.
Yeah. It's a big move, but like I remember I talked to people about going to Dubai to visit it, and it was very mixed from like friends and family that go, oh, Dubai is all about the image and about money and all about this and everything has to be real rich out there and everything else. But there's something about that place. I don't know what it is. But why? What's with the negativity towards the place, with the image and all?
Okay, so I'm gonna try to do my best without sound like a dick. Okay,
Yeah,
it's like there's two different sides of Dubai. There's a great side, and then there's obviously a side where people are struggling. Okay, and unfortunately, if you come out here on a really strict budget, or if you come out here with not the impression to improve yourself and come out here for a sunny holiday, one, if you come out in summer, you're going to get fucking scalded. It's 50 degrees at the moment. So that's step one, never come in summer. Step two, never come on a budget because you're not going to be able to do the things that, Dubai has to offer. So for an example, if people are coming out and they're in an Uber beside someone with a Lamborghini, they're going to look to the left and say, fucking prick, it's all about money. But it's just them being jealous. Okay. And if you come out here on a budget and say, well, I'm not going to go to the desert and do a desert tour because, we're only sticking to a 500 euro budget. What are you going to do? Eat food? It's going to be boring, And
mm,
I suppose if you surround yourself in a circle, if you go to a shit gym, for an example, if you want to go to a gym, if you don't go to the best gym, you're not going to meet the best people. So you're probably going to be around shit people as well. But the one thing that people don't get to see when they stay long enough in Dubai is how genuine people are. People want to see someone succeed. It might be all about money, but money makes the world go round, right? So are you going to be happier or are you going to be depressed in a rainy country? So I suppose when you come out here and you spend more than a week, you'll meet interesting people and they're all fucking lovely. I'm yet to meet a rude person. Even the enforcement over here, like the police and stuff like that, everyone is just so happy with their life. And that's because they're surrounded by good people.
mm, mm. Um, Now we have to talk about you because you've been living the high life up over there, right? It hasn't just been all work either. Because I've seen you and you've really tucked into kind of the delicacies of the car scene as well. Troy, does a McLaren GT ring a bell at all?
Yeah, it does. It rings a tiny bit of a bell, all right.
Is that a dream? Was that the dream car for you? That one was it?
I think you mean the Mustang, is it?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, was there a few of them you drove over there?
Yeah, so the McLaren was the one that I rented for a week while we came over,
Yeah.
just to kind of because believe it or not, right, I saw that as like an investment. Other people would see it as an expense, so they come over here and they'd be like, they'd see the price tag, they'd be like, "Are you fucking for real?" Right? And I wasn't doing well at the time that I come over to Dubai. I knew I had to be there. Like I wasn't, acting like the big rich guy or anything like that. I knew if I went over there, I was going to meet interesting people to take me to that level. Okay. So when I come over, of course, there was a bit of me, the Wicklow mindset, looking at the price tag of the McLaren for only the week. I don't own a McLaren. That's coming up. We can do another podcast in 2 years when I have that. But when I was looking at the price tag, I was like, holy shit. And then I kind of like reminded myself like why I'm here. So the week that I rented that McLaren, right, people instantly took me serious. So I met so much interesting people. I learned so much, and it was the best money I've ever spent. And also, I'm a big car guy, so I like the car side of things as well. But it just what that allowed me to do, getting to the best gyms, to the best hotels, talk to the best people, because people talk to you, or people, kind of keep you serious instead of you coming in and like an Uber. People would be like, "Who's that guy?"
Yeah. And for you over there, is it about connecting with people and making contacts, or is it just stick to your own game, make the money, keep going with your business? Like, what's your mindset over there now at the moment? Is it connect with as many connections as you can?
I'm very careful with who I speak to.
Yeah.
So not to sound in a rude way, of course. Like for an example, if someone like knows me from social media and all, I'm very welcoming and stuff like that. But I'm very careful who I be friends with. Okay, because well, you are who you hang around with. Our mothers have told us that. Our families, friends. It's a big saying, and it couldn't be any more true. You are who you hang around with. If you hang around with a bunch of lowlifes that only do drugs, chances of you doing drugs is pretty high.
Mm.
So, for an example, when I'm over here, I came out here with the impression to only improve myself. So there's a bit of me that's sticking to myself. I know you mentioned as well that hasn't been all work. That's just like one side of things. Like for an example, I'm an apartment bug. I don't really like social occasions. I don't like alcohol. It really just it turns me off life alcohol because like waking up the next morning feeling shit and then the next day you're having a takeaway food just feel groggy and it's just a weekend thing. It's a constant routine.
Yeah.
So I'm out of alcohol. I'm out of all that situations. I don't go to clubs. I don't go to parties. I enjoy an occasional beach club, but that's only for the one reason. That's just a tan, and also the people you meet there. But yeah, I think it's very important who you situate yourself around. So I'm very wary who I be friends with and who I speak to and who I keep information off to. Because never let someone know your next move. You know, you always keep to yourself, and then then no one's there to you when a business or something fails, they can't turn around to you and go, "Well, you were fucking wrong." You know, so always keep your moves to yourself. But I've built some very very good relationships out here in Dubai, and it's really helped me bring it to the next level.
Yeah. It's something you've brought up an interesting point. You've talked about keeping things low key. Don't tell people your next move. Do you find that a lot of people's lives are that mundane that they're so focused in on another person, what they're doing and everything else? So you've said it's important to stay kind of low. Do you think the people that are mundane, they kind of need to feed off, oh, what's this guy doing next? Let's latch on to him.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I'm out of Wicklow. And that's not just Wicklow. I love Wicklow as a place. Obviously, Wicklow is the main topic of discussion because that's where we're both from. But it's Dublin, it's Ireland, it's London, it's everywhere. You will get these people everywhere. And I think yes, I'll be honest as well. Like I wasn't born great as I am now, of course. But honestly, 3 years ago, I was that person that hated on people. I was that person that preyed on people's downfall. I was a negative. I had nothing going for me in life, and the only thing that I felt made me better was telling myself and trying to prove to myself that they weren't better than me. And it never got me nowhere. And I only then, when I realized to shut the fuck up and just kind of like focus on yourself, do something with yourself, and then maybe you'll feel better about yourself, that I got out of that routine. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, for sure, you need to keep low because if you give too much off, sometimes people will ruin your idea or your business. Or even for an example, if you were thinking of starting a podcast, if you told the wrong person, they'd shoot the idea down and make you feel like you're going to go nowhere with it before you even fucking start it. So keep it
Yeah.
low, record your episodes, release them without their opinion, and then when they do good, they'll still have something bad to say.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a lose-lose situation, really, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Um, Talking about that, I remember you on the Grounded Way, right? And I remember you saying to us about to get started, the majority of the time takes a phone or whatever, whether that's into music, recording podcasts, making videos, whatever. Um, what do you think it is that's holding people back? It seems so simple, right? To get started in what you want to do. You're a great example of doing it because you're up every morning, you're shooting videos, whatever else. What is it that's holding that person back from getting started? Is it the negative mindset, or is it they're scared of the reaction of the friends and family and people around them?
We just said it to a T there. Like I remember on the Grounded Way podcast as well, we also mentioned that I lost an entire friend group when I decided to do something for myself. And that's what people don't want to lose. They don't want to lose comfort. And I think it's a thing where people are like, well, I'll just start tomorrow or I'll just start the next day. And this comes into fitness, this comes into business, this comes into any life goal. And the reason people aren't just doing it today is because they don't want to be judged. They don't want to lose. And I suppose that fear is what's stopping you from taking yourself to do something that you may enjoy in the future. You know, so even when you said it's as easy as to pick up a phone, it's not, because then they have to also play with their own mindset. Well, everyone has like a negative mindset that over most of the time overcomes the positive side. And before they even start, they've already shut themselves down. They've already failed. So if they don't have self belief, you're pretty fucked as it is.
Yeah, yeah. Now we have to go on to social circles, right? So you kind of see it now. We've discussed it briefly there about people kind of with negative mindsets that hold you back, and you have to be around kind of somewhat successful people with positive mindsets. Without sounding too harsh about it, right? Do you feel like we need to cut off certain people around us in order to climb the ladder and be successful? Because looking at it, if I was to look at it, if you're to hold yourself back constantly by opinions from your friends and family, well, then where the hell are you going to go, really? you're kind of knocking your dream back. Do you feel it's a necessary thing? Like you can stay civil with them, but do you feel like you need to kind of cut a lot of contacts out and kind of go towards your goal?
Yeah, 100%. Um, Sometimes that's done with you having to do it, and sometimes they just leave you as it is. So sometimes you don't even need to worry about it. Sometimes they'll leave you. Trust me, whenever you try to do something out, they're just going to leave you because they're jealous. And the only way to, well, they'll give you their opinion. And then if you don't, if you show them that nothing's going to knock you, you have a bulletproof mindset, you're going to keep going regardless. The only way that they can shoot you down then is by not supporting you and just leaving you. So the chances are the majority of people don't even need to cut people out of their life. They'll leave if they're not real friends. Yet again, high school friends and all that type of thing isn't around forever. And this comes into adulthood as well. It's kind of like bred into us through parents, through grandparents and stuff like that. It's like friends aren't forever. Okay. And the majority of them are going to leave without you even need to say, here, listen, I can't hang around with you no more. I'm trying to upgrade my life. They're going to cut you out. And that's exactly what happened to me. I didn't need to cut anyone out. They just left me. And that's
Yeah.
just as simple as that. But if someone is sticking around, regardless how shit a business is going, regardless how shit an idea is, regardless how shit your first podcast was, they're sticking around, well, maybe you have to take a double think. Maybe they might not be the best influence on you, but maybe you can help them get out of that rut. So, for example, I've one friend that, yet again, he wasn't doing really nothing with his life, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean he was a bad friend. He always supported me. So the only thing you need to do then is to try partner up and then try really take him out of the rut as well, because he might be dealing with the same thing you did a couple of months back. So never cut everyone out. Just cut the
Mm.
people out that are preying on your downfall. So whatever your idea is, if they say any negative thing about it, can't be in your life. It needs to be gone.
Yeah. There's always that thing, like I'm bringing it out because like I've had so many examples of trying to not so much change, but try to motivate people to do what they want to do in life. Like you see, we've talked about jobs and all, people working their 9 to 5 and they hate it. And you're kind of frustrated going, what do I have to do to kind of push this guy into a more positive mindset to get out of this and chase what he wants to do? But I don't know about you. There's a lot of people now stuck in the same mindset of just, I'll just go to work and then, go out the weekend and the dream's never going to happen. I'm getting too old now for this anyway. So, like, I'm always admired by people that go back to college in their late 20s and all. I think that's fucking admirable to have the
Mhm.
courage to do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And I think the only thing stopping younger people now, and when I say younger people, it's the people that decided not to go to college and they decided to live for that weekend session and just get a job anywhere just for a bit of income in order to fund that weekend. The majority of the people come out at the end of the month with not a cent to their name because they're trying to live this lifestyle that realistically isn't maintainable. And if you want to maintain it, well, then you're going to be stuck in the same position for the rest of your life. Like people that go to college, as you said, late 20s, if that's genuinely what they want to do, admire it because, well, they're getting up and doing something. Even for an example, a lot of people looked at me with three heads when I was the first ever person to ever start a fitness page in Wicklow. Everyone was like, is this guy tapped or something? Like, what's wrong with him? Like, he's just in love with himself. He's cocky. He's this, he's that. And I suppose it's just really what I wanted to do. I always watched YouTube, or I always watched Instagram. I always admired them. And I saw on the gap in the market, so I jumped at it. And I think every time you let something be delayed one more day, you're losing an opportunity. So anyone that is deciding to take up education late in their life, it's never really too late to make that. Even being able to sit in your little rocking chair when you're 90 years old and say, I done that, I done what I wanted.
Exactly.
And that's my biggest fear is
Yeah.
sitting there talking to my grandkids and being negative towards them because I didn't do fuck all with my life and being an old grudge because I'm sitting there reminiscing every single day saying I should have done this. So I don't even hesitate anymore. If I want to do something, I'll just go and do it. And I'll worry about the consequences after.
Yeah, exactly. You're dead on. That's exactly my fear, being 70 or 80 and looking back on why didn't I go to America when I fucking said I was gonna go or whatever else. We need to talk about I remember when you were on the ground away, you talked about kind of criticism that you had for like your videos and everything else. How has that changed? Has it gotten worse since people are kind of seeing you now living the high life and everything else? Is there more begrudgery there, or how are you finding that at the moment?
Now they've accepted it. They know where I am now, and they're wasting their breath to even hate. I mean, I think the people that did initially try bring me down, um, they had one goal in mind was to not let me surpass them, even though I was already surpassed them because I actually am attempting something I like to do. They don't understand that just yet though. But I think when they saw me starting reaching things and I started going to Dubai, they're like, ah, sure, the fucking McLaren is a rental. Okay, yeah, it is. You know, ah, sure, you know, you probably got your man to pay for the Dubai flights. They will always try. And
Yeah,
then when I told everyone, I told you, I remember I told you on the Ground Away podcast, how many months ago was that? Months ago. My business
yeah,
was only fresh. I told you that I will be in Dubai. I told you that I will succeed because it's self belief.
yeah,
And I suppose look how far that took me, you know. And it's not true. Obviously, it's hard work, but it's more so just the positivity and the self belief. And I think now people are checking my Instagram every single day because I know they are because they still won't let it go because they're still yet to start something of their own. But it's not until then that they notice that they were the cunts out of the whole thing. So they've accepted it and they've stopped hating because they know they'll just sound like idiots. Like imagine someone said to you right now, "Don't mind that Troy lad. He's faking everything." What would you say to him? How is he faking living in Dubai? You have to get residency. You have to buy a house. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just there's just no way to hate on it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. You weren't dropped there by an airplane given everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to work
And
for
I think it's hard for someone to at this low level, and I know everyone wants to do it deep down, but it's kind of like if someone hates on you and your fear of someone hating on you of starting your own thing, it kind of wears off your own mentality to do. You're gonna bring off that energy. So whatever energy that comes to you, you're gonna provide as well. So especially in your social circle, if someone's hating on you from starting a business, you're gonna hate on someone else just to get revenge. You know.
it. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, I was going to talk to you about you've said the criticism has died down. How's with your creativity? So you said to me that you were getting up every morning doing videos and everything else, that you were keeping up with the content. How has that changed much being in Dubai? Has that kind of changed the time scale or how many videos you do a day, or is it still the same routine you have?
Oh no, it's changed completely. So I have a videographer, I have an editor, I have a scripter. I don't do nothing of it no more. So it's kind of like just moving to that next level. So there's a lot that goes on in my brain, and I think my brain shouldn't be spent coming up with content ideas and editing videos. That my time is valuable now. So it's kind of like all about learning when it's the time to kind of delegate some of your time. And to me, my entire life was content making. So I said, imagine I just spend all the money on a videographer, editor, bring up the quality. That'll probably bring in more income and then spend that income on a scripter. And it's just got to a stage now where I actually don't have any hands on the business. I just kind of show up for 2 hours in the gym, do a bit of content of a Monday, and that's my entire week done.
Yeah, staying ahead.
Exactly.
That's the one thing I've tried to do with this podcast. There's been nothing up yet on social media. People are copping on that I'm doing something because I'm giving them little hints of pictures and mics and stuff, but there's nothing being released yet because it's all about staying ahead, well ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be happy until I get about 7 or 8 recorded.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's the
ahead.
importance as well, because otherwise you're just going to leave yourself in a backlog. So, for an
Yeah.
example, if you decide to take a week off and go to a rave or something like that to enjoy your life, because you know that's something you want to do. If you want to travel to America, how are you going to film a podcast in America? So people
Yeah.
are instantly going to be like, "Oh, as you fell off already." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always have something in the back burner. So, for example, I make sure that I never post a video unless I've got at least 60 videos in a draft, just ready to go, in case I ever decide to take a month off. So, for an example. I'm going to Greece now for just over a month, and I'll just sit in Greece. I'll top up my time, and I won't have to record anything. And then as soon as I get back to Dubai, it's a straight business.
Asher, I'm not jealous at all. You know.
No need to be.
Greece is one I'm looking at. Troy definitely at some point. Um, I'd be one to go to. I want to
Sure,
talk.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. I want to talk about making multiple incomes, right?
Yep.
You've started up you're going to get into your business and what you're doing over there in a few minutes or whatever. But how do you feel about obviously you're working your normal day job, but you want more money and more income coming in? What's your take on like the crypto markets, marketing online, making money online? Do you think that's something more people should dip into? And or is there kind of that thing there where people are going, this is just a scam. I'll stay out of this.
I think it's a huge opportunity, but then you also have the people, yet again, as you just said, it's a scam because they refuse to believe that it's that easy to just get out of this whole 9 to 5 mindset.
Yeah.
And it's not. I think if I put it in front of them and I said, all you have to do is just listen to me, they'd do it, right? but it wouldn't interlink with the lifestyle that they try to live. And the lifestyle that they try to live is pubs every weekend. Like no one saw me. I haven't drank in since my 18th birthday. And what age am I now? Just over 20. So
Yeah.
it's I haven't drank in 2 years, and I've missed my prime life, as some people would say. This is what they've said to me. Why would he move to Dubai? He's missing his prime years. My prime years is making as much money as possible and building this wealth to a point where when I'm 25, I literally don't do fucking nothing with my life. I'm just literally laid back, driving nice cars, and just being happy, and being able to support my family most importantly. And I think, sorry, I've actually completely gone off that fucking question there.
You're grand.
But yeah, I think it's so easy to get into it. But crypto markets, that's a bit of a long process, and I think people don't have the mind for that, right? And for an example, I get questions on it. So I have 2 pages. Troy J Fitness, which is just strictly fitness. I never talk about business. I never talk about nothing because it's not my demographic. Then I have my personal page, which is only like close family members and stuff like that. Or not close family members, but people I know from like Wicklow and stuff like that. And all the messages I get is, man, please just give me a chance. I'll do anything. Just learn me how to trade, learn me how to make money online, this and this and that. But no one really sees what goes on in the background. So for an example, 8 months ago or whatever we filmed this podcast, I told you what was going to happen. Has anyone seen me in 8 months? No, I've been in my fucking room grinding 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Are they willing to do that? No.
No.
Making side hustles are great. But I think that word has been ruined by social media. So you have a lot of people trying to sell like crypto courses. You have people trying to sell Discord stuff and stuff like that. And people look at side hustles as a way to make 10,000 a month, for an example, when a side hustle should be making literally a cent over what you make on a weekly basis. Let's just say, for an example, you work in a supermarket. If you work 40 hours in a supermarket, can you dedicate another 10 hours of your life to clean someone's shoes, to literally take out the bins, some extra pocket money? Like I have 16-year-olds asking me how to get rich, and I'm like, please, just do something with your life.
Yeah.
Like walk the dogs for €5. That's €5 more than you ever had before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think people have this side hustle mind, and they're like, wait, what? That side hustle only makes me an extra €100 a week. Fuck that, it's not even worth the time. But yet you slave away 10 hours stacking shelves for that €100 because it's safe. Do you know what I mean? No one wants to take anything that's considered a risk.
Yeah.
And I think people need to open up and kind of learn what it takes in order to level up. And a prime example, I'm not sure if I mentioned it on the podcast, but even working like 60, 70 hours a week between my gym and then going to the gym plus coffee and then working on my own business, I was drained, and it comes at a cost. I was still making €11 an hour. I was no different than anyone else. The only thing I was doing was working harder than them. And that's what gave me the opportunity. So even for an example, I gave a young guy a tip the other day. He's actually a very lovely lad. He always comments on my videos. I gave him a tip, and he was just saying, I said, "Do you live in a big neighborhood?" And he was like, "Yes." Do you live with, obviously, in the neighborhood, is your family known by everyone else? And he was like, "Yes." Okay, so I was like, "You're quite popular in the neighborhood, meaning that you like the kids. So everyone likes their parents, so they're like the kid. They're going to treat them. If they go around to fundraisers, they're going to throw them €10 and stuff like that." So I said, "Why don't you just go around and just clean cars?" And he was like, "Why would I clean a car? Like, I'm not a bum." And then I was like, "You're texting me, asking me how to make money. You're not working." So I was like, "What makes you not a bum?" Do you know what I mean? I think people have this mindset of social media. They just need to do anything. Like even if you get an extra €2 a week, it's still more than what you had prior. So that's a side hustle.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think you could like mention a work. I think people are in fear of leaving a job. They've experienced being out of work for a while, and they're probably just dead scared to go back to that place again. But there's nothing stopping people making time during those jobs to, and you've mentioned actually, without going off topic, you mentioned that a person close to you had the dream to go into music. Do you remember saying that on the last podcast?
Yeah,
And they hated working, and you said to them, well, look, you're making more money in order to get the gear required to get started. Do you remember that?
yeah,
Yeah. So it's a bit like that. That job isn't really useless, but if you can keep going with your kind of side hustle or whatever you want to do as well, they go hand in hand. But eventually, if you can get out of that workplace kind of mindset and do what you want to do in life. I think it's just about being patient, but at the same time having the grind and the positive mindset to just get started, really.
Yeah, and another thing as well, a lot of people quote me wrong, and I actually had a couple of people after that podcast that we recorded saying like, you know, who do you think you are? Do you know what I mean? I was actually a couple of my old friends, and they said to me, they were like, "Oh, like, what do you think you're rich and stuff like that?" They weren't saying it as like a dickish way, but they were pissed about the topics that I spoke about, and that's because that they really don't want to kind of like own up to it and kind of like see that there is an opportunity to get out what they're doing at the moment, but they just can't own up to it. They're just too lazy to do it. And
Yeah.
I hate the word as well. Like I want everyone to like kind of understand what I'm talking about. When I say like the matrix and I say like 9 to 5s and stuff like that, there is nothing wrong with doing that. Okay.
Mm.
If you genuinely enjoy it, do it. Right. But if you're putting up on your fucking Snapchat story every day, keep up a job, 40 hours a week, heads wrecked, then fucking do something else.
Mm.
Okay. But if you like working in, I don't know, a garage, filling up petrol and stuff like that. If you like it, go for it. I'm a big advocate of doing something you love. So if you love it, go for it. If you like putting down carpets, if you like roofing, if you like carpentry, do it. I'm all for it. But I just don't like when people sit there and go, keep up a fucking job. I'd hate to leave this, or I'd love to leave this. They never actually do it. But then yet they still hate on me that's doing something different, you know?
Yeah.
And I want people to understand as well. Like for an example, even when the time that I was gone on your podcast, I was still making a substantial amount of money, 4 times more than I was making in my actual job. Okay, but did I quit it? No, I said to you that I'm still working the hours just so I can like film content and stuff like that. And the reason I done that is because well, you want to kind of hold on to the dream and not be unrealistic at the same time. So I was working, I think it was 60 hours in the business a week. 12 hours a day here and there, some were 10, some were 14 hours, depending how much calls I had. But yet I still showed up for work every day. I still worked 3 days in the gym. I still worked 2 days. Some weeks I still covered shifts because these extra bit of money, it's not an income. It's I can use this for investments. So every single money I got, I had to deal with myself. I'm going to work my ass off still in my matrix job, took all the money from that, bought my mics, bought a new camera, used that to fund all my new equipment. And then everything I made from the business went straight into assets, my portfolio, moving to Dubai. And that's what a lot of people need to understand, that you need to fucking grind. You need to work your ass off and you need to take part in those shit jobs in order to really appreciate when you finally make it out.
Yeah. Um, it's funny, every single job I've been in, every single one of these kind of normal, mundane jobs, you always find everybody just complaining about the place. And then they say it to me, and then I end up complaining about the place. And then an hour later, I'm going, well, what am I complaining about the place for? Do you know what I mean? It's like this kind of negative energy goes around from person to person. But at the same time, there's no willingness from anyone to leave. Like, I'm finished college. I have took a little break from the college mindset for now. I have passed everything. I'm ready to go. I'm not going to start applying for jobs or anything yet. I'm going to focus on the podcast for a little bit, stay in the job I'm in, and then go and try and apply and get in somewhere higher. But you see these people and they're talking about, oh, well, there's no other place to go. This is too local. This is too just so comfortable. But then an hour later, they're there complaining again, which I can't really understand. Obviously, every job we have trouble with every single issue in the job. It could be hours. It could be decisions that are made there. Like, does that kind of puzzle you? Why these people can't do something to kind of do something they want to do instead of staying in an environment they're obviously not like happy in at all?
Well, first of all, just say congratulations on completing your college course.
Thank you very much,
And
Troy.
then and then moving on from that, I think people's minds work weird, and it's kind of like saying every single thing that happens in the world is all caused by mind, of course, because that's what controls the body. But you not stopping, or you stopping yourself from starting something that you want to do, your mindset's fucked. My mindset, it's not to toot my own horn or anything like that, but I think it's like the people watching this podcast are obviously either going to hate on it or they're going to actually try listen to it, take some of my advice and try take it to the next level.
Mm.
And actually try, progress their mindset. But if you're currently sitting there saying, I hate my job, I'm not going to start this, so because it would never work. it's too populated. That's a big thing people say. It's too saturated. There's too much people doing what I want to do. If it's fucking roofing, there's already 3 roofing companies in Wicklow, whatever it is. Your mindset is so fucked at the moment that you need a complete revamp. My mindset is so on it. Like my friend could come over to me and say, I'm starting a fucking lollipop business. And I would sit there and I'd be like, you're a genius. I'd be like, you're amazing. Fucking smash it, man. And I give them the best advice. And that's not because I didn't try to look for the negatives and things. I just went straight for the positives. What would I kill for? And I'd actually kill for a lollipop. I'd probably buy one off you. Do you know what I mean? It's just like I try always look for the positives. So when you're saying right now, okay, and this is a prime example. When you said you're taking some time out from college, I sit there and say congratulations for completing your college course, and then I say, okay, well, take some time out, try to figure out what you want to do, record podcasts, you're doing something you love.
Yeah.
What is someone else going to say? Anna here, Richard, you need to get back into your job. You need to have an income job.
Yeah.
The age of you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the only reason they came up with this in their head is because their minds are running around trying to find negative things out of this, and this. Our minds the complete opposite. I'm like, fair play to you. You passed. On to the next. You're recording a podcast right now. You're doing something with your life.
Yeah.
No one, and I don't believe no one still in Wicklow will have that mindset. They'll always have this little negative thing in the back of your mind. The same way you said, you find yourself complaining sometimes as well. That's only because you're based around these people. You have no other choice. Because guess what? If you disagree with them, you're not gonna have no friends. Do you know what I mean?
True. It's almost like a stupid competition. It feels like that in Wicklow, a stupid competition. Well, who's doing better or who's doing something different than anyone else? And let's all zone in on him then and his success, or if it looks like he's reaching a certain level that we're not. And let's just knock him back down and go, it's grand, sure, Rich, sure, come on now for a few points at the weekend anyway, and then go into your work job, and then sure, what would you want to leave that for? Do you know what I mean? You're surrounded by all these people that kind of live in I'm not going to say the word, but like we've mentioned Matrix or what, but live in a kind of a fucking circle that they're not going anywhere really. It's really
Man, everyone's programmed. I'm gonna be. I can only see that now. When I went for the Dubai trip, and it wasn't when I moved there. It's when I went to the Dubai trip. I came back from that Dubai trip. The hour I landed, I said I'm moving here. Nothing about it. I couldn't afford it at the time. I couldn't afford it. I was like, I actually can't afford the Dubai move at the moment. So I just went home. I grinded. I knew what my goal was, and I got there. But I think it's funny enough that you said that as well, like the whole thing about like people just being negative and stuff like that, and trying not to get out of what they hate at the moment, but they're just not really taking that next step in order to at least try to the next level. But I think if you're not based around the right community and you're not filled around people that you would actually want to be like. So a prime example I like to say is someone said to me the other day, he was like, oh, like I feel like I'm doing very well. And I asked him, I was like, right, so imagine you in 20 years time. I said, would you feel comfortable with your daughter marrying someone like you? And he was like, oh, I probably wouldn't. I said, why? And he was like, oh, just go like drinking and stuff like that. I'm not really like focusing on my future and stuff like that. I said, so why the fuck are you happy with yourself? Like, honestly, my daughter would be fucking lucky to have someone like me. Like, because I'm so positive. I have a good mindset. I treat people well that are nice to me. And I don't forget about people when I get to a stage, and like that's the type of person that you would wish your daughter or your son, sorry, would have like their relationship trait as, you know. So I think you can never sit there and give yourself some credit if you're not someone that you would allow into your house with your daughter, you know.
Yeah. Just zoning in, right? So we've talked about people trying to shut people down who are kind of making waves and kind of moving forward. When you're putting up videos, so like reels at the gym or reels of yourself, like in the kind of flashy sports cars and whatever else, like I know by looking at it, I'm there, Jesus, Troy, fair play. You fucking said what you were going to do. You went over, and now you're living the high life, and fair play to you. I'd love to get there someday. What would you say to a critic or someone there going, oh, well, this is just now him looking for attention and showing off that he's pretending to be rich. He's thrown in this lifestyle now just to get at me and get at everyone else back here. What's your kind of first comment to them that say that?
Silence.
Yeah.
They hate it. They love a reply because they know that I'm still worried about their opinion. I'd never, ever, ever give them the time of day. If they think that, I'm happy they think that. I'm glad they have an opinion. They have a right to have an opinion. So I just leave it there. They don't deserve my breath of air. I only kind of deal with people that have good things to say about me, and that's not because like I'm so up my own arse. It's because well I deserve it. You know, everyone deserves to have positivity around them. And I think if you spend your entire life, and that's what you're going to deal with, podcasts, music. Oh, your music shit. I don't like that song. I don't like the way you play football. If you try to go pro, I think it's a dead baller. You know, like people are always gonna fucking say shit. And
Yeah.
if you spend the majority of your time trying to think of comebacks, being like, well, fuck you, you're fat. Do you know what I mean? It's just never going to. It's just you're not ever gonna get nowhere. You know, because you're stooping down to that level. As we've already talked about levels, you need to act above their level if you want to be above their level. And I think a lot of people do the whole thing, and that's what people think about Dubai as well. It's like a fake it till you make it. I'm all for it, you know. If and fake it till you make it is a it's a kind of not only what's it called? Sorry, do you know when you like write things down? A manifestation, is it?
Manifestation, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so it's like a form of manifesting. So
yeah,
if you put yourself in a situation, you're saying, well, you know, I'm going to do this. I'm going to, like I told you that I'm going to get here, and that's manifesting. And I'm not saying that the world just makes you get here, but it's a form of how to get yourself positive. And I think if you don't believe yourself, you can't expect anyone to believe you.
yeah. How, and this is even a question based for me because I'm fucking struggling again with time. How do you, is it just as easy as writing down a schedule to manage your time? So obviously we've talked about work. That's what, 7 to 8 hours. Then you want some sleep in there as well. Then maybe if you want to go to the gym and then maybe work hard on, so the podcast for me or for you, it would be whatever, the videos and whatever else over there. How, is it about getting up earlier? Is it about getting into a routine to go to bed early, get up early? Because I know I still have a really bad habit of just lying in bed on the phone, which is a really shitty fucking habit to be in. Um,
Mm.
how the hell do you get out of that mindset? Is it just as easy as leaving the phone downstairs and just using an alarm clock and then coming up, waking up at 6 or 7 in the morning and writing down what you need to do for the day and how much time you need to give yourself?
Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest here because it's just there's no you don't get nothing from bullshit, and that's why as well that I don't bullshit about nothing. I'm gonna try and make this podcast as informative as possible.
Yeah.
I can't give any information on sleep. I'm really bad. Okay. And that's not because I'm sitting up on my phone mindlessly scrolling. It's because I haven't, I find it hard to sit away from work. I always want to be busy. So for an example, I'm averaging around 5, 6 hours sleep at night, but I'm dealing well off. Okay. I'm not walking around groggy. But if I'm giving myself advice because I know how to fix it. It's just I'm not doing it. Okay. And this is just because I'm too busy. And so that's not a bad thing. Being too busy is better than being too lazy or having nothing to do. Okay, so I look at it that way. I will eventually, when I hire another, let's just say, virtual assistant or something like that, when I hire another VA, or potentially like another closer or salesperson, that's when I'll be able to sleep better. But I can't sleep at night knowing that I'm not the best version of myself. And I think if you can, you're fucked. If you can sleep at night like a baby and wake up in the morning and get back on that phone and still mindlessly scroll, knowing that you're not the best version of yourself, I think you're fucked as it is. You need to completely switch. But I think you need to find where you're most productive. For me, late at night is when I do like my program development, I do my mentorship education, and then I also deal with like let's just say payment systems and paying my employees and stuff like that. That's when I do all my deep work because I feel like at night time there's nothing stopping me. I'm looking out at the Dubai skyline, I'm happy, all that type of thing. In the morning, I feel like where I do my deep work is where my brain's the moving the most. Okay, so it's always about situating your day as best as possible around your most productive things that require as much as your brain as possible. Do them in the morning. So as soon as I wake up, for an example, if I have to come up with an idea in terms of like a call to action for my story to get more clients on board, or to detailing out and messaging as much clients as possible, doing some DM outreach. If that's the case, whatever is the most important in that day, I will do as soon as I wake up. I'll wake up, I'll go out, I'll smell the lovely air, and then I'll come back in, I'll just work. Where most people, the first thing they do is they just engage in Instagram or they wake up and go on to fucking Pornhub or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just whatever you do at the start of your day is going to plan out how your day goes. So if I wake up and I get my most important work done, there's a smile on my face for the rest of the day and nothing will stop me. I'm just going to keep going. So in terms of how to get your sleep better, that's the best advice I can give. But I'm still trying to master that myself, of course.
Yeah. You're a man, you come across a man that just doesn't want to sleep at all.
Nah, fuck that. Like I feel like I'd love to be a vampire. Like, do you ever watch Twilight and they just don't sleep? They can just sit up
Yeah.
all day. Honestly, I would be 10 times better than I am right now because time is money. And every single 5, 6 hours that I sleep, there's 5, 6 hours of work that I have to do tomorrow. And it's just, I genuinely believe it's just falling back on me. But sleep is so important. Like, obviously, with me being a fitness coach and telling all my clients, come on now, you need to get 8, 9 hours sleep for the best recovery and stuff like that. And I'm sitting here bullshitting behind the screen because I only get 5.
Yeah.
But, um, yeah, if I couldn't sleep, man, that would be the best thing ever, honestly. I'd love it.
Wake for 24 hours. I'd say,
I'd
especially
love
with
it.
the Qatar fucking skyline or the Dubai skyline over there, I'd say you'd want to stay awake.
It's beautiful. I'm looking. I'm actually. So I'm currently in the marina. Anyone that's been in Dubai would know that place. It's like a lovely like canal with like loads of skyscrapers around it, beautiful
Yeah.
view and stuff like
I
that.
think the camera steady,
I'm
Troy. Don't even think about rotating the camera there. Leave it the way it is.
yeah, no, don't worry, I will, don't worry. I'm not here to flex or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think I might move out of the city because I feel like I get distracted as well. It's all about distractions, and sometimes I just sit on the balcony and I just it's not a bad problem, but sometimes I just sit on the balcony and just gaze, and I waste a bit of my hour because I'm looking by, I'm looking down underneath me. I'm currently on like yeah, only like the 20th floor or something like that. So when I look down, I can just see like Lambos flying by, Ferraris, and I'm just gazing, reminiscing. Like, why am I not there? Why is he better than me? What can I do to be better? Oh fuck, work. It's been an hour. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like I need to be in the desert, no one talking to me, to be my best version of myself.
Mm, mm. Now, we've avoided fitness for a while, right? But I've one question that's popped up because I was in the gym the other day and there's this guy who's obviously fucking been there for a long time. He's beefed up and he's working away. But there's this kind of young group of lads that they're only kind of starting out and they're coming in and they're trying to work out the weight and they're trying to bench, but obviously they're doing it a bit wrong. So he stops what he's doing and he goes over to them and he kind of talks to them for a good 5 minutes about kind of well how the form needs to be and everything else. Sometimes that the person would listen and take that voice in on board, but at that occasion, I could see one or two lads just smirking, going, "Oh, what the fuck's this guy talking about?" What do you think of people helping each other in the gym? Do you think they should just kind of let the person learn themselves? What's your opinion on just on all that?
I think it's funny we say this because yet again, there's two different types of people. There's people that are willing to take criticism on, which I'm one of them. If someone tells me I'm doing bad and this is how to do better, I'm gonna fucking do it. Like even in the gym to this day, there's always something more I can learn. Why do I keep buying education? Like I'm spending all my allowance on education because the only thing that's doing is getting me better, both mentally, physically, knowledge, whatever it may be. But I think the people that sit around, turn around, and say, "Who are you to fucking even try help me?" Do you know what I mean? I think that's them setting themselves up for failure already. Their mindset is too locked in that they're the best. No one can make them even improve because they know better. And they're the type of people as well that are arguing with their mothers back at home because when your mother says, "Don't back answer me," and she's like, "What the fuck are you saying in there?" Do you know what I mean? Like all that type of stuff. It's like the people that are sitting there willing to be like, "Okay, I'll take that advice on, I'll actually do that." They're the people that trait is so powerful. If you can take a bit of information, put it into use to improve you, you're gonna go for the fucking sky, man.
Yeah.
And yet again, not to mention, I used to be like that. I used to be like, fuck off that. Like, what are you saying? Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean I could have played better in that football match? And he's trying to give me advice, and I'm just like, put my finger in my ears and like, I'm not even listening to you. I'm the best. I'm the best. And where did that get me? Fucking nowhere.
How you think to do with age as well, is it? Just when you're younger, you're
I
more
think
stubborn.
I think so, but it's also as well the way you're brought up. I think you will inhabit a lot of your parents' traits as well. Like I think, for an example, my dad is very powerful. He doesn't care what no one thinks, and that's where I had that deep down. It just took me a very long time to see that. And the only reason it took me to see that is because I wasn't happy with my life. I wasn't happy with how my life was going. Like honestly, if you told me a year and a half ago that I where I am today, man, honestly, I wouldn't believe you. I was depressed, suicidal. I was like, fuck this. I was like, my life was shit. But now I'm the best ever. And the only thing I switched, and this is the only thing, fuck hard work, fuck talent, all that type of thing. The only thing I switched was I was willing to take someone's advice on. And that was the trait I had deep down in me, but it was just kind of hard to bring that out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Are you still very active on social media? Are you still on TikTok and all? And like, do you still use it more when you're over there to promote your videos and everything else? How are you find is? Do you still feel? I remember me and you talking about it that we felt it was toxic. Do you, how do you feel about still using those platforms, or do you kind of stay away from them as much as you can?
No, I love it. I love it because, well, it's done like a complete revamp of my following list. So I used to follow hot girls. I used to follow all the like Dubai like sexy girls like a year back, year and a half ago. And then
Yeah.
I was also following people that were absolute fucking muppets. I was following my friends at the time that were muppets as well. And every time I went on Instagram, I was going through photos of people in the pub, girls going through, and I was just like, what is this doing for me? So I've done a complete revamp. The only people I follow now is obviously people that support me, and of course, there's people that are realistically better than me. Because every time I go on, I'm getting new ideas. So I see at the moment, I see social media as such a powerful tool because you can also learn so much, but you can also get so distracted and get a false reality of life.
Yeah.
I use it to my advantage, and if you are feel like it's toxic at the moment, you're probably liking the wrong. The algorithms tried to get me to do that, but literally, if I went onto my TikTok now, and it would actually be funny because if I went onto my TikTok now, it's probably something about cryptocurrency. It's something about affiliate marketing. It's just something like that. Do you know what I
Yeah. Um. Oh, you'll never get me back on TikTok. Honestly,
mean?
TikTok just right. um. I have a few final more questions for you, right?
Go fella.
I want I want to talk about how long do you see yourself in Dubai? Is this a permanent thing, or will the young kind of adventurous Troy Sutton within you go, do you know what? I think I'll give Australia now a try, or America a try, go somewhere else now. Do you see yourself staying long there, or like have you more to achieve over there?
I think I play it day by day. Of course, I've goals, but I found when you think about it, right. So, for example, my girlfriend at the moment, right, and I say to her every day, I'm trying to give her as much tips to save money and stuff like that. But I've seen the traits that she has that's not helping her get to that point, right? And it's constantly thinking about what's her next move. It's like, well, where will we go next? I know it's next year. I'm only saying that we might go to New York. I'm like, well, why are you fucking talking about it now? Because if I said, right, let's go to New York tomorrow, do you have the budget for that? Or am I going to be paying for it? Do you know what I mean? And then like
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. I think when you're constantly worried about what your next move is, it's going to make it impossible to actually achieve. So for now, right, Dubai is beautiful. Do I think the school systems are amazing? There's the majority of people are imports. So like people are coming from France, people are coming from England. There's actually a lot of Irish people over here. Like there's even hurling teams over in Dubai. Like, could you imagine that?
Hurling teams in Dubai?
Hurling, hurling, Gaelic, rugby teams, football teams, everyone.
You're
There's
joking.
so much Irish people. And no, I swear to God, it's such a good community, and that's what a lot of people do. Like people look up Dubai, and they're like, oh no, it's all like well, I don't even know how to say that properly, but it's not people that I would be able to talk to because everyone speaks different languages. It's like a foreign country. You're gonna have no friends. But I've met more Irish people that I would be willing to talk to than in Wicklow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there's no plans to go yet. Yet again, I'm going away to Greece, and that's just mainly for a reset. Like my brain at the moment is like slowly getting fried, and I think it's just about to hit that fuse to a point where I just completely turn off. And it's important to get rest. But do I think you should rest when you're not where you want to be? No. I'm exactly where I want to be at the moment, so I feel like I deserve it, and it's about time that I do take a rest. So I'm going to Greece. I'm just going to sit back for a month, and then when I come back, well, I'll just get back to business. But uh, I know I was just saying like don't think about further plans, but my honest plan is I never want to live in the USA or Australia. Australia because there's big fucking ass spiders. They're scary.
Yeah.
Um, snakes and all those weird ass animals, probably dinosaurs to be honest with you. I'm not fucking going
Yeah.
there. And then as well, I'm a big family person, so like I FaceTime my mum and dad every night. And I can't get away from that because family is so important, especially because they're positive people. They really, really support my journey. They've supported it well, not from day one, of course, at the start. They're like, don't quit your job. That's unsafe because no one in my family has ever made it out. Do you know what I mean? They've never tried to do something with their life. So of course it's bred down from family, parents into kids, and then it's always been a trait being like, oh, just be safe, go to college. You have a great PT job. I was like, well, I'm making someone else richer. If you're working, let's just say for an example, a garage, you're working for the owner. You're making him rich. You're building his dream. I was just sick of building someone else's dream. But yeah, sorry to get back to things. I want to go to America. I don't want to live. Fuck that. It's corrupt as fuck. But I would love to go to America to visit. I've been to New York twice in the past year, and that's mainly just because I love the place. Like I went the first time, came back, and I was like, yeah, I probably wouldn't go back for 4 years because like things is the same. I think probably a couple of weeks later, I just booked another flight. I was like, I want to go back there because I was seeing things on TikTok as well. I was like, there's new restaurants opening. I suppose if you're at the situation where you can travel, and that's the most important thing about online business. You can go wherever you want. That's the definition of freedom. When you know what your time is worth, it's not working for yourself. It's not owning a successful business. It's not having 7 figs in the account. It's not that. Freedom is knowing how to manage your time, knowing what your time is worth, and being able to go to places without your business going down. And that's the definition of an entrepreneur, that you don't have to work for your money.
Yeah. Yeah. You do something that you enjoy doing and you're
For
making
sure.
money. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
So you've made big claims that you said for 25 years of age you're gonna aim to be relaxing and to be a millionaire. You said
Oh,
the
it'll come sooner than that, but
yeah. It's confidence stuff. Do you know what I
oh, for
mean?
sure. Like next year, every single year, I'm constantly on an upward trajectory. Like I think next year it's going to be very interesting, and we can definitely do another podcast there because I'd love to update all the listeners where I'm at. But that's the definition of what self confidence can do. 100% though, and it's all about money to me. And a lot of people say as well, like money doesn't buy happiness. But my main answer to that is anyone that says that hasn't given enough away. Like when
Yeah.
I fly back, so for an example, my mom doesn't know I'm coming back, so please don't release it within the next 3 days because I'm flying back in 3 days.
No
But the fact
worries.
that I can just fly back on demand for my mom's birthday, I
Yeah.
can pay off mortgages. I can give her money to like be comfortable. I can do all these things. I can buy her sentimental gifts. It's not all about like Louis Vuitton bags and all. For an example, she's really want to get her teeth done. And
Mm.
obviously, of course, it's a very expensive thing. And she's been constantly moaning at me as well that she hates when I smile. So I said, right, fuck it, a nice
I
birthday
think
present
everyone
is you
hates
get
when
her
you
teeth
smile,
done.
Troy. Showing off the fucking white teeth there.
I honestly, I would try to cover them up if I could. I tried to cover them up. They're too
It's
white.
hard to
They're
do.
blind to me. But nah, it's like the fact that I can come back and treat them. And the biggest thing ever is like you'd never understand how proud a mother and father is when their son does something that they enjoy. And to a point where you can finally repay your parents for all that
Exactly.
they've done.
Yeah.
Like for an example, they've done everything for me. They've been spending money on birthdays, Christmases. They've given me the best life ever. So a point where I can come back and I can reimburse this. Anyone that tells me that money doesn't buy happiness, I just go fuck yourself. Not
Yeah.
only can I do that with my parents, but I can also drive around a Mustang GT, which I just bought last month. So I'm fucking buzzing with that.
Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. What did the parents think of the move? Do you think, like, obviously they're going to miss you and all, but you said earlier they're a positive mindset towards you. Like, are you in contact with them every day and stuff, and just reassuring
Yeah,
them that everything's grand? Because you're still a young
yeah.
person. Like, you're only 20 years of age as well. Do you know?
Mm. I'm still their baby though. Like
Yeah.
I think it's hard for them to understand as well that I can actually take care of myself. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not going to lie to you. 4 months ago, I couldn't even do toast. I couldn't even make a cup of tea. I was literally, and I'm still, and that's one thing that you can always improve on. It's not just business. I'm great with business. I'm great with money and all that type of stuff. But I
Yeah.
still don't know how to fucking cook a chicken breast. I'm still
Yeah.
working on that every day. Obviously, at the moment, I'm still just like, yeah, I'll just buy the food. I'll just do that. I'll do that. But that's something I want to improve on. I want to improve independence. I learned how to put on a wash last month. Like not everyone's perfect. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm not trying to act like this amazing persona on social media. I'm just showing off what I'm proud of and what I have achieved. I'm still yet to achieve a fucking cook a good chicken breast, so I'm still working towards that.
Mm.
but that's the thing. Like I'm still in contact with them every day. As I said, FaceTime them every single night since I've moved. I think nearly 3 months ago. So without missing a FaceTime. And then as well, yeah, it was kind of hard for them. It was hard for me as well. Like, man, I've never cried so much in my life getting onto that flight. And that was just because of one thing, is because that still that negative mindset. Everyone has it. No one fully gets rid of it. The back of my mind, I was like, I'm by myself. I've no one. I'm fucked. But then the positive just pushed me to get on that plane. But yeah, it was hard, man. Like leaving something that you're so comfortable with. And that's why people don't leave their job, because they're too comfortable.
Yeah.
People don't leave toxic relationships because they're too comfortable. And I think when you finally get that confidence to move out of that toxic relationship that's holding you back, when you get out of toxic friendships or toxic jobs or whatever it is, that's when you really see what's better for you. And that's, of course, what I'm grateful for, that I've found at such a young age.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Troy, you're an absolute legend.
Thank you.
I know it's been hard for both me and you to schedule a time for this because like I've been busy getting other people in, I've been busy with work, I've been busy finishing college, and then you're flat out as well with all your businesses over there and everything else and helping people with gym and everything else. But it's been an honor to get you back on. And we're finally on YouTube. So that's something that
Oh, yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah. So now
Lovely. So
everyone now
will be up.
everyone can see your white teeth now. Do you know?
Love that. Love that. See, that's the thing as well. You said that a couple of months ago. Your main goal was to get it up on YouTube, and now you're finally achieving something. So
Yeah.
congratulations for that.
Yeah, no, I think like you have to put yourself in other people's shoes. If I want to listen to a podcast, I want to be able to visually see it as well as an option. Do you know?
Oh
And
yeah.
people are very different. People might listen to a podcast and zone out. Do you know what I mean? They might want to actually see the visual element. Do you know what I mean?
I think an impressions is or like, even for an example, like you're probably wondering who has the face to the voice and stuff like that. So not only, what I find in videos as well, it's so important that you have text. It's so important that you have nice focus. It's so important that you have nice audio, because these are all factors that the brain can take in.
Yeah,
And you've mastered that so far. So congrats.
yeah. The mic's coming through all right, Troy, is it?
No, yeah, the mic's deadly. The mic's really good.
Had to upgrade the mic.
Well worth the investment, huh?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So yeah, look at I'm gonna stay in contact with you. Obviously, this will be up. Not for a while now. I won't lie to you, not for a while because I'm trying to stay ahead.
Yep.
But this will be up on YouTube and Spotify and stuff. So I look forward to seeing how your progress goes, and hopefully, say in a few years, I'll probably be at Sydney Harbour or something recording another podcast or something like that.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
for sure.
and God
Fly out to
knows
the
where you'll be,
van,
Troy. Space probably or
we
something.
come out to the penthouse balcony and we will record a
Awesome.
podcast.
I don't know about that though. People in Wicklow would have our heads. That's like we have to go back again. But that's it. So I want to say thanks very much to Troy. Best of luck in everything he does. As ever, this is episode 5. You can catch this full episode up on YouTube if that's the way you want to go about things. Or you can watch this, you can listen to it on Spotify or any other audio platform. Also, go over to the Instagram page, give it a follow. Talk is Rich, which I like that name actually. I came up with that. Talk is cheap.
Pretty sick.
Rich.
And the thing is, you can actually breach into a lot of like financial type of thing as well, because
yes, you
would
could.
be perfect.
But that's kind of I could, but I don't want it to be fully financial either. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So talk is rich, but we'll play along with it for now anyway. But that's it. So thanks everyone for listening and watching in. A big thanks to Troy over in Dubai. Again, not jealous at all.
Thank you for having me on.
You're grand, Troy, anytime. And let me know who your dentist is. And hook 'em up. So we're gonna go now, and that's it. Thanks very much to everybody.
Thank you.